Hello and welcome to North Star Stamper. I'm Susan Kramer. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Minnesota. I live in the Twin Cities, actually a suburb of St. Paul called Woodbury. Do you love maps like I do? Go check it out. We're actually very close to Wisconsin. So, hello and welcome. I've got fun stuff to work on today. I think we'll just get started. So this week, Stampin' Up! Is hosting, you know where I am. I think I can get rid of this. Stampin' Up! Is hosting a craft class featuring these products. The Pretty Poinsettia. I used this last week as part of my Christmas in July series. Christmas in July. If you purchase $75 after rewards, before tax handling and shipping, I'm going to send you information about all the Christmas projects I've been making this whole month. I've started the PDF. There's going to be PDF with a fun fold in it. I think I showed the fun fold last week. I'm going to make some videos with tips and tricks on some of the Christmas cards I've made. Ideas on using non-Christmas products on your Christmas cards. I struggle sometimes with my Christmas card of the month. I post a Christmas card on the 25th of every month on my blog. And when we don't have Christmas products like these, I struggle to find products to use in my Christmas card. So I've learned to use like just any green or red designer series paper I can make into a Christmas card, right? So those are the kinds of things that I'll be including in my Christmas in July. So it'll be videos and PDFs, right? I don't know if it'll be more than one of each, at least 2 videos, in addition to my weekly, and then a PDF with instructions and tips and tricks. So thank you for shopping with me. I appreciate it. We'll get busy. I see we have a couple people on here. Let me know that you're joining us. Oh, I started to say, the craft class featuring this bundle is this week. And I don't have all the products that they are using in the craft class. So it'll be fun to try to figure out what I'm going to use instead. I just got a notification today that I'm into the Facebook group that the class is held in. So I can, after I'm done with all my things today and tomorrow, because tomorrow's my newsletter day, I can prep for that class and I'll share with you what I make. So Pretty Poinsettia, that's a fun one if you're looking for a new Christmas bundle. And these dies, I talked about these last week and we'll talk about them some more today, are impressions dies. Can you see how detailed they get on these petals and leaves? And so you need the impressions plate is what they're calling it here in Stampin' Up! So we'll talk about that in a minute. So we are casing the catalog, if you have your catalog handy. Hello, Mom and Dad. Thanks for joining. Where are my notes? Page 41 is the card that we're casing today, and I believe CASE stands for Copy and Share Everything. I'm going to grab my take your pick. So we're going to case this card. I'm using the Words and Wishes bundle. You can see here on page 41 is the bundle. I borrowed this from Kristen, my team leader, a while back, and I loved it so much I bought my own. Oh, that's not the right one. Sorry. This one. These dies are huge. Look how big that birthday is. You can't tell by the front how big it's going to be. You think it's going to be tiny, but it's really big, and we're going to use that on our card today, just like they did here for this birthday. And instead of stamping happy like they did here, I actually have die cut happy. You'll see what I'm doing. So Words and Wishes. And this is one of the bundles that we have been told will be available for a full year. Since we now have 3 catalogs that go 4 months each, demonstrators who wanted to invest in things that would last longer than 4 months we're told which products, and right now off the top of my head I can't remember what the other ones were, but this bundle is one that will be around at least through, I imagine, at least through next April. And I love them too, so even if it hadn't been available all that time, I probably would have bought it anyway, because I make lots of birthday cards. And I just noticed this one here. I wish we could celebrate together. A lot of my birthday cards are sent out of state, so I could use that on my envelopes when I send birthday cards to family that live out of state. So very fun. We're going to be using that, which they did on here. I think that's the only stamp set they used. But I am also going to be using the Phrases and Frames bundle. And this is an impressions die set. And here, now I can show you what the difference here is. This is this die here without the impressions plate, and this is with the impressions plate. I'm going to let my video catch up, and you can see it is much deeperly. The embossing is much deeper on this one compared to this one. There's nothing wrong with this, and you can see the lines, the kind of sun ray lines on the die, but with the impressions plate, which is this one, and it attracts all the dust in my area off my plates. It's I believe it's silicone. I can put this down, sorry. Silicone, and that's what helps you get the details from these dies. And there's certain dies that are impressions dies. Like I said, the Pretty Poinsettia are. At least some of them are. Okay, what else? So the Phrases and Frames. The bundle is on page 37 if you want to look that up. So here's our Phrases and Frames bundle, and this is our Words and Wishes bundle, and they have the pages for the stamp set and dies separately on these pages. So 37 is the Phrases and Frames, 41 is the Words and Wishes, and the case of the card we're going to be making tonight. So Tony has a friend having a birthday party on Saturday, so we need a birthday card, so that's what we're making today. So I can't find something I wanted to show you, so I will just tell you about it. I wanted it to be black and white and gold, but I had trouble stamping the cake. Did I put it in here? I don't think I did. No, I think I threw it away. I wanted to stamp the cake in black, so I tried this very old Stampin' Pad. I didn't even realize it was archival. And then our new hybrid ink, basic black, and I could not get a good image of this, and I used my stamp positioner. I did not use my Stamparatus. I did use our new stamp positioner, and I just could not get a good image with either ink. They're both well inked. They're kind of squishy when you stamp them, so I don't know why I'm having trouble, but I am with black. So I switched to Night of Navy. I could have used Secret Sea. This is a very, very dark blue that looks almost black, but I didn't think of it, and I started working with Night of Navy, and then Tony helped me decide that we're going to use gold with this. So I have some gold foil that I put an adhesive sheet on, and I put a whole, I'm using a lot of this, so I put a whole sheet, this is 12 by 6, onto a, this is not the one, the other one's in the other half of the room. So this is gold foil. Sorry, it's going to be kind of a mess. So I put an adhesive sheet on here, and then I cut it apart, because when I put it through my machine, I don't have perfectly flat plates. They're very well-loved plates, and then I get impressions, so I cut it to just be what I want. So that's what that is. So the Happy Birthday, the detailed, does have adhesive sheet on the back, and that's what's in here. And then you can see I die cut this confetti. I think the confetti with the adhesive sheet is going to be too hard to take off the liner, so I did die cut a whole bunch without adhesive sheets too. But I did stamp. Hi Alma, thanks for joining today. I see you've been here a few minutes, so thank you, thank you. So I did stamp and die cut both of these presents. I have them on one block, so I could stamp a few times, add my embossing powder, heat them, and it was really quick and easy. So doing that ahead of time is going to make our card pretty quick. So when I started stamping, I was very excited to go to a vendor show. I think it was in St. Paul, And I bought this, you can see it was $16. I was so excited to get this much embossing powder, and it's gold. But this is really old. It's at least 25 years old. Because I've been stamping for 29, so it's probably 25 years old. And this is what it looks like when I use this powder. Of course, I use a Versamark, just Versamark with my stamp. I did use my embossing buddy. Where'd it go? This on my paper cardstock before I stamped, so that I get nice images and not a lot of flecks. But can you see the difference? Let me pull this up. Between those, I'm gonna let the video catch up to me. So this is, the duller ones are this big thing, and then this is a newer one. I don't know how old it is and if this is the exact same one we have right now. Oh, you can see it. So this is our current product, and this is my really old one. And there's nothing wrong with that, and Tony even said that. He said, when you compare them, yes, this is much flatter, and this is much brighter and reflective, I guess is a good word. So without this, I could have used this, but I want to come up with some project where I use a lot of embossing powder. I did start embossing these with some of the key dies that we have had, but they came and went so quick I don't think I ever got to show you. But I think if I had the right project, kind of a shabby chic project, I think these embossed images, probably not these images, but you know what I mean. I could use this embossing powder on a shabby chic project. I guess that's what I'm getting at. So we're not using these today. We're going to use the nice, bright, shiny ones. And I have stamped and die cut a whole bunch. So we're just going to kind of put the card together. I think I've talked about almost everything. Let me put some of this stuff aside. Put that over here. So one of the other things I notice about this card is the back, this white layer. If you look real close and look in your catalog, there are some lines on here. They actually used, that wasn't white cardstock, they actually used a piece of this. And this is the Luxe White 12 by 12. I'm on page 66 of the catalog. They used this, and they added Barely Blush and Timid Tiger ink to a piece of this to create their background here. So I don't have that Luxe paper, but going along those lines, I took a piece of white, and it'll layer nice on our card. And I used a really old embossing folder. I think it looks like Argyle to me, and I thought that was a nice masculine, I don't know why I brought it out, but a nice masculine design. I thought about circles, or you could use stripes or whatever. I just thought this would be a nice background for our card. So we're going to get busy. I've been chatting for 13 minutes and we haven't done too much yet, but I've talked about all the things we're going to use. Again, this is Night of Navy, and I just like to go all the way around, make sure all my edges are flat. I'm having issues with my cutter, even with a new blade. So here we're starting our card. I can decide to do the emboss, so this is raised. We might like the debossed, and when I add some blue ink, it'll bring out those diamonds. I think I might like that better. So I played around with those phrases and frames. I have these right next to me, so I remember what they're called. And I did these all with the impressions plate, so they're nice and deep. This one's actually backwards, I think. Yep. So I think that's going to be too much blue. I think we're going to go with the gold, and I'll add a little blue behind it. So I'm just going to build my card here. What next? We're going to take our shadow dies that I did in Night of Navy. Happy birthday. And then the things in this bag have adhesive on them. I can put that away too. Clean up a little bit. And then we're going to put a cake and some presents around it, just like they did in the card in the catalog. Oh, I don't have dots. I'll have to find some. You may not see the completed card here today. So I have a liner on the back of my gold foil. Well, now it says Earth Day because the bee is still in the die. I'll have to find it. I don't know. Oh, right there. So they are separate. The dot for the eye is separate, so that's going to be a challenge to put on, I think. All right, so this is sticky, and I'm going to go slowly, just line this up. I'm left-handed, so I go right to left. I hold it in my left hand. And it goes just like that. And then tap it down. Now, I don't know if you can see the release holes from the die. You can see right here in the bottom of the H, there on the T, there on the D, and that bothers me. So I just go with my, this tool, I can think of what it's called, bone folder, and just try to even them out. If I go nice and flat, it looks really good. So I'm going to hold it flat and burnish out those release hole dots. Most dies do have these. It's just you have to be able to get the paper out of your die after you die cut. Keeping this nice and flat, I'm getting a really nice image on here, or really nice. The recipient will probably not notice, but I do. There we go. And then the bee. Get rid of that liner. And line that up. Just like that. Again, tap it down, and then it'll burnish. I will hold it down here anyway. Oh, that looks so good. Like I said, it took me a little while this afternoon to die cut all these things. I did some of the confetti while Tony and I watched Jeopardy. So this is not a quick card, which is why I did all this die cutting and stuff ahead of time, or we would be here till 9 o'clock. So there's our birthday, except we need the I dotted. Now the happy is still in here. Sometimes these things will stay in there. And I might be able to pull it. Nope. We'll just take it out. Oh, the H is separate. I forgot that. I haven't used this, my copy of this yet. I forget. Do you remember what I did when I borrowed Kristen's? I don't remember. All right, this is being stubborn. Uh-oh, I just ripped it. Well, it'll still work. I noticed this card doesn't have any, let's just pull it like this. Too fussy. I don't know why it's being like that. I'll get rid of this, and now I can probably pull this off the liner without. There we go. I'll just take my time and then take out these inner parts of the Y's and the P. No, the Y and the P's. I know how to spell. So yes, these are fiddly, but they're very effective. Just line it up letter by letter. We'll finish this all. Is everybody keeping cool? I sure hope so. I looked at the radar earlier. The entire country was over 90 degrees today. Ugh. I am spending lots of time in the basement in my craft area all week long. Oh yes, that brings me to a question for you. Are you available Friday night? This Friday. What's the date? The 17th, I think. I was thinking of doing a YouTube video live, Stamp with Sue. And ahead of time, I will tell you what we're making. It will probably be a fun fold that involves pattern paper. Just because I know I have a lot of pattern paper, and Stampin' Up! Is always coming out with more, and I want to use it up so I can buy more. right? So I'm thinking of doing that on YouTube on Friday. Let me know if you're available. I would love to have you there. The only thing is, to comment on YouTube, you need to have a Gmail account, I believe. You might be able to use another account, but you have to sign into YouTube to comment. That's the only problem. So what do you think of this? I think it's cute. Yeah, I kind of like that. I wish I think once I finish it with all our presents all around, I think that'll be cute. I think that'll be good for a masculine birthday card. Now, let's see if I can find... So the dot did come out of the eye. Let's see if I can finish that real quick. And it's one of these. Like I said, let me find this die set. Oh, I remember using this on a card when I borrowed it. So this is a die that can cut out, it cuts out confetti, but on our card, they use the confetti pieces on the card. So this might take a little bit. We'll see. The confetti does have round dots, and I think that these dots are bigger than the dot of the eye, which I think will be fine. And I'm trying to flatten it. Uh-oh, it went flying. That is not the first thing I've lost today. I lost a die the other day. I heard it hit paper, and I had a bin of paper right next to my my embossing machine, my die cut embossing machine. There it went again. That's not working. And luckily it was a duplicate die. It was a die set. Okay, this time I'm going to be more careful. Third time's the charm, right? It was a duplicate die. It was a double leaf. So it's here somewhere. I haven't taken the garbage out yet, and I won't let Tony take it today either. There we go. Now, whether I can get the liner off of this is going to be interesting. All right, holding my breath. There we go. I'm going to move that. I didn't burnish it yet, so I think I can move it around. Now we'll just push it in place. There we go. Okay, so we need some blue on here. I think I do. This side is kind of busy and a lot. So I think I'm going to do this side. I think it's technically supposed to be the back side. So I have my scrap paper here. I'm going to see what blue I have on here. That does look like Night of Navy. But we'll take Night of Navy here. Get some ink. Make sure it's not going to be too dark. There we go. And it's very much in the background. Oh, look at that. I like it. So it'll pull out that embossing. I think they went on this diagonal too on our sample on page 41 again. If you want to look at the card I'm mimicking. There we go. Oh, very nice. And then this, and I think I do like the gold frame. I had the white and the blue as well. Let's see what they look like. So the gold will look like that. We'll put our cake down here too. I think that's a nice amount of gold, and the presents have gold on them too. Let's see what the blue looks like. It's not bad. A little more subdued, but it is a 70th birthday, so I think we're going to use the gold. Let's see what the white looks like. Oh, that gets lost, doesn't it? That completely gets lost. Okay, so we are going to use the gold, and now I have these frames to use on another project, and I just got ink all over me. So let's clean that up. All right, let's get busy putting this together. So I'm going to center this. I know what? I didn't put a lot of adhesive. Here's a tip I learned. My teammate Nan does this. I think she puts adhesive, I'm not going to do it over my card. She puts adhesive on a silicone sheet, and then she'll put it on the spatula that comes with the take your pick, and then she can add adhesive right where she wants it without too much mess. I think I got some on my hand. And again, adhesive. Put this on the back, on the edge. Hold that down. I'm going to turn it over and burnish it. All right, and I think I'm going to put this flat. I'm going to have lots of layers with my happy birthday here. Oh, look how big those are. Those are big. Birthday is 3 3/4 inches long. So I'm just going to put it in the corners. And because this was an impressions die, it's very 3D. So my adhesive will stay in there. I'm not worried about having too much adhesive, is my point. But I do want it on all sides. There we go. Center that. Let's get our birthday. Oh, happy up here. Birthday. I'm going to put these more towards the middle. And this is going to go right there. There were stamps that were candles, both tall ones and short ones. Here. Oh, I'm going to turn this around again so it's a pointer. But there were no dies that coordinate with those, so I was very surprised. So otherwise, if there were, I would add candles to my cake. I thought it would be fun to have gold candles on there, but there were none. I think I'm going to put the cake down first. So I know where the rest go. I'm going to put this right near the corner. I like to see this here. Sorry, I like to see that there. And we'll put one on the bottom. Do you case cards very often, or do you come up with your own ideas? All right, I'm going to put these here. One more in the middle. I don't want to put dimensionals on top of my frame. I think it's going to add too much height to my card. So I'm going to put them towards the middle, and then I'm going to put it down on the bottom of the B. I don't think it would have any trouble going through the mail, but just in case. Oh, actually, this one's not going through the mail. We're going to a party. But just to know that's what I was doing. All right. And oh, I kind of like that. Not raised. Let's play around with these presents. Pull these back out. We'll put some of these on the inside too. Oh, when I was making those frames, I had a piece of gold on the end, and so this is the smallest die in that set. Oh, and then I've got a bunch of confetti here that I can put around if I don't have too much trouble. I thought these presents would look cute inside and maybe on the envelopes. We'll do some stamping too. What do I need? A short blue one. That's getting kind of busy, isn't it? With that frame. They didn't have the frame on the... I think maybe just 3. Should this be popped up? Yeah, I think it should. Okay. So this side of the H. Hi, Kathy. Thanks for joining us. We are casing the card on page 41 of the catalog. So if you want to check that out. And I'm using, I don't know how long have you been here? She says, coming in late a minute ago. Okay. So I'm using the Words and Wishes bundle, also on page 41. And then the Phrases and Frames on page, where's my note? There's my note. Phrases and Frames, the bundle is on page 37. That's where my frame came from. So these, I'm just going to use some glue dots, if I can find some. So these are glue dots from kits. I'm still using them. You see, this one's almost gone. I only have 2 left. Yay, I like to be able to get rid of things. Clean up my craft area. Put that one there. This one here. There's a lot of blue, so I'm going to go another white, a tall white one. Down here. Oh, that's cute. I'm going to use 2 glue dots. These are tiny glue dots. No idea which kit they're from, but a kit. There's that. Now comes the tricky part. I'm going to take my silicone mat, put some adhesive on there, and I'm going to take a stylus. This is a really old one. I'm going to clean it off because it already had adhesive on it. And these little dots, the confetti, let's clean this up a little bit. It's all at the bottom. See the confetti in the bottom of that? This is the die. It cuts the confetti in the corner. Oh, I just had an idea. So I'm going to take a little bit of glue and see if I can set that in there. There, just like that. So pretty quick. It'll take me a minute. Well, you can see the confetti in there. So I'm going to take some adhesive, put a dot, if I hold it just a second, it hopefully will stick. There. A little putsy. I'm going to put a long one there for one of these. I think I need some right here. These do have the release dots on them. That might bug me a little bit. Whoops. I'll just sit that, let that sit for a minute. Maybe a little more. Maybe here. Yes, okay, you can see. That's cute, if I do say so myself. You know, the catalog had, I'm gonna pull it back here. So there's our card. They obviously didn't have the frame, but I wanted to add that using my impressions. They have some dots here and here and more clusters. I think it's good. I think we're done. But I just wanted you to see the difference. So we'll put this aside. And this will dry off, and then I'll just pull it off and you can throw it away or use it as a, excuse me, as a glue dot, I suppose. So there's our card. We're going to put that aside for just a minute. We're going to take a layer here and we'll do some stamping. And I'll have Tony help me decide what to stamp on the inside, since it's his friend's birthday. And we're gonna go like this, clean that off, and the other side I have the small one. Excuse me. Oh, one more up here. While I have it here, we'll stamp on the front of the envelope. And I made a big mess of my block, so I like to use this chamois piece that came with my glass mat to clean everything up. And now my fingers are a mess. Hold on. Clean all that up, dry them off. There. And I'm not going to adhere this yet. I want Tony to decide what he wants it to say on the inside. I have a few things. I don't know if any of these would be appropriate. A friend worth celebrating. I hope your day is delightful. I don't know about those. I thought maybe this one. May your day be filled with love and happiness, since this man is having a party. I did meet him at my mother-in-law's funeral. So, Alma, if you remember, Tony had a couple co-workers, former co-workers, at Mom's funeral. Eric was there. So this is my envelope. And, oh, on the inside, I am going to adhere some of these presents. That's going to blend in too much. I see there's comments. I will see. Kathy says, I just found it in the catalog. I like yours much better. Well, thank you, my dear. I appreciate that. There's nothing wrong with theirs. But that was my... So, Kathy says, I actually own that bundle. Mom says, love the card. Have fun at the party. Thank you. Actually, it's going to be very hot now that I think about it. It's in the afternoon at a park. So, we'll have to go well hydrated and maybe not stay as long as we were going to. I'm hoping the park has a shelter. That's cute. Look at that. Like I said, I'm going to have Tony help me decide what to stamp on the inside, so I'm not going to adhere it. I can always reproduce my white piece because I have more presents here if I need them. So there's our card and our envelope. So that is my case. Oh, I also thought this piece, you can tell by the, where did they go? This one, sorry, excuse my reach. It does die cut from the corner, so I could put this here and then you would see the navy through there, so that might be kind of fun too. I know I did that on the card I made when I borrowed this from Kristen. So there's that. That is what I have for you today. So thank you for joining me. I don't think there's any questions, but stamping on my envelope and on the inside really tie it together. So thank you for joining me. Happy stamping. I also wanted to point out that you can mix and match and put things together. I could have used any one of my happy birthday sentiments, but I like the large one. I know we've had some large stamps in the past. I don't think I had dies that coordinated, but I could have fussy cut those. So, and I like the frame around it better. It really sets it off. So, thank you for joining me. Happy stamping. Have a great week. And let me know if you're available Friday evening. I think even if nobody says they're available, I think I'm going to do it anyway. My team leader, Kristen, has challenged us to stamp with new people. And since I'm trying to be an online demonstrator, I need to find people to stamp with online. So that I've been thinking about doing that anyway. So that gives me incentive to do that this week. So hopefully I will see you Friday on YouTube. I was not going to do Facebook. I was just going to do it on YouTube. But I'll see you then. Take care, everybody. Stay cool. Bye.